Good morning. I would like to welcome everyone to the Education Professions Committee meeting. We do have a quorum this morning. We welcome those of you in attendance. Thank you for your interest in the work of the State Board of Education. Do we have any visitors or news media to recognize?
Jenny Johansson from Columbia College is attending on behalf of the institution.
Thank you, Ms. Hipp. Committee members, you have before you the minutes from our November the 8th committee meeting. Is there any objection to approving the minutes as presented? Hearing none, the minutes are approved by unanimous consent. Next, I ask for approval of the agenda for today's committee meeting. Is there any objection to approving the agenda as presented? Hearing none, the agenda is approved by unanimous consent. Now, moving on to committee items. For approval, we have 6 items. Item 1 is the state accreditation decision, Columbia College. We have Jacqueline Walsh with us today from the Office of Educator Services to present.
Oh, thank you so much. Just a little background. State Board Regulation 4390, Program Approval Standards for South Carolina Teacher Education Institutions, establishes that all teacher education programs meet the standards of National Accreditation Association, for which we have a partnership agreement with. For state board approval, public institutions must seek and receive national accreditation. However, private institutions may seek national accreditation or meet national standards through a state review process. In 2015, the South Carolina Department of Education entered a partnership agreement with the Council for the Accreditation of Educator Preparation, or CAPE. And the SBE has adopted the CAPE standards as national provider standards, which all South Carolina institutions must meet in order to maintain accreditation status. And this partnership was just renewed in July 2022. The state review process is modeled after CAPE process, and the Professional Review Committee, or PRC, serves as the state's accreditation council. In this capacity, the PRC reviews the findings and reports of the state review team, considers information from the review team and the provider, and renders a recommendation regarding the accreditation status of the provider. The state-adopted national standards and state requirements are evaluated as a part of this accreditation process. In this case, Columbia College chose to pursue state accreditation. After careful review of evidence submitted, as well as site team findings, the PRC, acting as the accreditation council, rendered a decision of accreditation at the initial level for Columbia College. In addition to meeting the state-adopted national standards, Columbia College also provided evidence that all state requirements were met. Any areas for improvement listed in the report will be addressed by the provider during the next accreditation cycle. With state board approval of Columbia College's accreditation decision, the next site review will occur in spring of 2029. The SCDE recommends that the state board affirm the PRC accreditation decision for Columbia College. And as Mary Hipp noted, Jenny Johansson is here to represent Columbia College if you have any specific questions for her. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Board Member Slaughter made a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Board Member Kriminger seconded the motion. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. Item 2 for approval is Professional Review Committee, PRC, new member approval. Mrs. Walsh will also present this recommendation.
Thanks so much. The South Carolina Educator Preparation Guidelines, Standards, Policies, and Procedures establish the composition and terms of service for members of the PRC, or the Professional Review Committee. The state board must give all new members and must approve all new members to the committee. The PRC is comprised of 13 voting members, And PRC members are appointed at staggered 3-year terms, beginning on January 1 and ending on December 31st. PRC members may be reappointed to additional terms pending state board approval. This month, terms of service for 1 South Carolina Public School District representative, as well as 2 public and 2 private representatives of higher education will be completed. Additionally, a recent resignation created by a vacancy for a partial term for a 3rd representative from a private institution. On Friday, October 14th, 2022, after careful consideration, the PRC voted to recommend nominees for membership on this committee. The recommendations for Public Institution of Higher Education representative is Kevin Eakes from the College of Charleston and Reginald Williams from South Carolina State University. The recommendations for a private institution of higher education are Patty Jones from Presbyterian College, Jared Woolstenholme from Newberry College, and Christy Hammett from North Greenville University. Christy has been recommended to serve the remainder of a vacant term. On Friday, November 4th, the PRC also voted to recommend a public school district representative for membership on the committee. Jerome Davis, Charleston County School District, from Charleston County School District, has been recommended to serve as the South Carolina Public School District representative. If these appointments are approved by the state board, the full term of service for new members will conclude in December 2025, and the appointment for the representative recommended to fill the remainder of a current term will conclude in December 2024. The SCDE recommends that the state board approve the PRC recommendations of new appointments for service on the PRC.
Are there any questions? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Board Member Kreminger made a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Board Member Slaughter seconded the motion. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Item 3 is the new Educator Preparation Program Approval Recommendation, University of South Carolina, Columbia, Bachelor of Arts in Special Education. We have Dr. Ritter from the Office of Educator Services to present.
Good morning. The Office of Educator Services presents 2 new programs and 2 modified programs this morning. For EPO 3, the University of South Carolina, Columbia has developed and submitted a Bachelor of Arts program in Special Education multi-categorical. The SCDE disseminated the proposal to an external review team of subject matter experts who evaluated the program for rigor, content, and alignment with South Carolina statute, regulation, and guidelines. The external peer review team approved the program with conditions. Following the institution's revision of the proposal, the Professional Review Committee completed a final evaluation and voted to recommend the program for approval on October 14th, 2022. If the program proposal is approved by the State Board of Education, the institution will be able to enroll candidates beginning with the fall of 2023 academic semester and to recommend completers for certification in the area of special education, PK through grade 12.
Are there any questions? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Board Member Kreminger made a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Board Member Cordray seconded the motion. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. Item 4 for approval is a new Educator Preparation Program Approval Recommendation, Anderson University Bachelor of Science in Physical Education. Dr. Ritter will also present this recommendation.
Anderson University has developed and submitted a new Bachelor of Science program in Physical Education. The SCDE disseminated the proposal to an external review team of subject matter experts who evaluated the program for rigor, content, and alignment with South Carolina statute, regulation, and guidelines. The external peer review team approved the program with conditions, and following the institution's revision of the proposal, the Professional Review Committee completed a final evaluation and voted to recommend the proposal proposal for approval on October 14th, 2022. If the program proposal is approved by the State Board of Education, the institution will be able to enroll candidates beginning with the spring 2023 academic semester and to recommend completers for certification in physical education, PK through grade 12.
Are there any questions? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Board Member Cordray made a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Board Member Cremenger seconded the motion. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. Item 5, Educator Preparation Program Modifications, Winthrop University Bachelor of Science in Early Childhood Education. Dr. Ritter.
Winthrop University has submitted modified program in the area of early childhood education. With this program, modifications were looked at and approved by the CHE on June 20th, 2022, and part of the modification process required the provider to now seek State Board of Education approval to modify the program and prepare teacher candidates in the field of early childhood education, which is PK through grade 3. In this program, the institution consolidated the early childhood education methods course into grades PK through grade 6 methods course, freeing credit hours for elective options, changing courses to improve program content, and decreasing the overall program hours from 123 to 120. On October 14th, the PRC recommended approval of the program modifications to this program. If approved by the State Board, the institution will enroll candidates in the modified program beginning with the spring 2023 academic term and will be able to recommend those individuals for successful completion of the program and certification in South Carolina.
Are there any questions? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Board Member Cordray made a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Board Member Cremenger seconded the motion. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. Finally, item 6 for approval, Educator Preparation Program Modifications, Winthrop University Bachelor of Science in Elementary Education. Dr. Ritter.
Once again, Winthrop University has submitted a modified program, this time in the area of elementary education. With this program, the modifications were approved by the South Carolina Commission on Higher Education on June 20th, 2022. As part of the modification process, this provider now seeks State Board of Education approval to modify the program and degree requirements to prepare candidates for teacher certification in South Carolina. In this program, it also seeks to consolidate the methods course into a PK through grade 6 course, freeing credit hours for elective options, changing courses to improve program content, and decreasing program hours from 123 to 120. On October 14th, 2022, the Professional Review Committee recommended approval of this program, and they are now seeking State Board of Education approval. The institution will enroll candidates in the modified program if approved, beginning with the spring 2023 academic semester, and will be able to recommend those individuals for certification in South Carolina in elementary education.
Are there any questions? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Board Member Slaughter made a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Board Member Cremenger seconded the motion. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. Many thanks to
Thank
you,
you.
Dr. Ritter, for these presentations. For information only, we have one item today. This item is the Collective Leadership Initiative. We have Lila Toll Mansager from the Office of Educator Effectiveness and Leadership Development to present.
Thank you so much, Chair Lee and committee. This morning, I'm here to present on the Collective Leadership Initiative and to present the 5-year report that was just published that was included in your board packet. In 2017, Superintendent Spearman gave our office the authority to explore teacher leadership. And South Carolina has a very strong history of teacher leadership, from training teachers as mentors, training them as master teachers, investing in national board. But when we brought together those educators and those districts to talk about a framework for teacher leadership, they said that they felt like they had all of this authority and then no authority to actually do anything with it in the school. So you might be a national board teacher, but there was no clear path for how you were going to multiply your impact to the school unless you had a school principal who kind of got it and gave you the leeway to do something. So instead of creating a teacher leadership framework, we created a collective leadership framework where teachers and principals and school teams come together to solve school improvement problems, because both teachers needed to learn the leadership skills, but principals also needed to learn some skills around how do you really work with your teacher leaders and put that together. A total of 10 schools worked with us in our first pilot year. That grew to 27 schools this year, and we're really proud. As you know, Clarendon County has gone through 2 rounds of consolidation. Every single school in Clarendon County is working with us in a personalized cohort where Libby Ortman and her team go down and work with them, and they're exploring the idea of consolidation together with those teacher and principal teams, and how do you create that culture of togetherness, especially in a consolidated district. We're particularly thankful, before I get into the research, that we've done this in a disciplined and thoughtful way where we can actually gather data to see if this has an impact on student learning. And I give the credit to that to Libby Ortman, who's here in the audience today and has really led that work and has made sure to set it up in a way that is research-based and can measure impact. So if we look at that, Dr. John Hattie out of the Melbourne Graduate School of Education is one of the leading researchers that matches up what they call meta-analyses, but analyses of what things can we do in a school that actually impact student learning and have an effect size that is measurable on that. And he looks at all kinds of things: student factors, teacher strategies. In 2018, teacher efficacy rose to the level of being the highest impact of any strategy that you could use, any teacher effect on student learning. And what teacher efficacy is, it's teachers' belief together within the context of a school that what they're doing is going to help their students learn, and then that's matched with the results they are helping their students learn. It's that feeling we are doing something right together, we know how to make progress together. It's hard to measure that belief, but Dr. John Eckert at Baylor University, who's one of our partners, has developed an efficacy tool that helps measure that belief that educators are making an impact and putting it against student results to see if they do. So one of the ways with our collective leadership schools we measure teacher efficacy is a probe 3 times a year. They take a survey 3 times a year. It's research-based. Baylor sends it to them, so it's not from the State Department. It's not from their school leader. They don't feel like their answers are going anywhere, that anyone is going to see it attached to them. But the whole school is supposed to look at the results together. The other piece of research that we do with these collective leadership schools is we look at the 7 conditions. And so the 7 conditions that collective leadership teams learn when they come to us are across the top, from vision and strategy over to orientation to improve. And they do a beginning of the year and end of the year deeper survey to see their perceptions of how these things are going. We use this matrix with our school because it can help them identify maybe if our scores are low in shared influence. Teachers don't feel like they have an influence on the decisions in a school. That could lead over on the right-hand side to burnout. Or if we're feeling frustrated, maybe that's because we don't have the capacity to make this change or we don't have the resources. So this is really a teaching tool for us, but it's also a research tool. And every school that works with us uses these conditions to help set a specific problem that they're trying to solve as a school together based on their data. So it's very personalized how they use these conditions. Collective leadership looks different in every school we partner with, but it's on this same research base. What I'm really excited to present, and we haven't been able to do this before now, we now have 5 years of data, the correlation between those educator efficacy pros and schools that do really well in those collective leadership conditions is moderate to strong, both in every condition individually, but it's strong across the whole thing when you look at the whole score together. So we have some evidence in South Carolina schools that have been working with us over the course of the past 5 years that this works, that if you do collective leadership well, it's going to increase your teacher efficacy. If you check out this slide, for all of those 7 conditions, the 2 where the scatter plot, the relationship between efficacy and those conditions is the strongest, is supportive norms and working relationships. How do we work together? How do we collaborate together when we're not having those 30 minutes where we're having our unencumbered time, but we are back in those PLCs together? How does that actually look, and what are we trying to do to help students? And then the other one that I mentioned earlier, shared influence, the feeling that my actions as a teacher impact my students, that I have an influence on solving the issues that are important inside my school. We can use these, and we've actually already started to use this research to talk to school leaders who aren't in our collective leadership schools to say, maybe you want to look at these things with your faculty, because we've seen that it has an effect on efficacy, and we also know that efficacy really impacts teacher retention and whether they want to stay and keep doing good work. So just excited to share this research with you. In our office, we have incorporated those principles of collective leadership into all of the leadership cohorts that we lead. We also include it in our effectiveness trainings. But we're excited to see where this goes together with the schools we're working with so they can spread good ideas across the strait. And we have a showcase every year in May where our schools actually present their research, their problems of practice, what they've been working on. So we would invite any of you, if you're interested in that, to come join us in May. We can get you the date and get you an invitation to that. But thank you for your time. Happy to take any questions that you have.
Are there any questions?
Is there a list of schools that do participate?
Yes, in the packet that was provided, if you go to page, in the board attachment, if you look on pages 11 through 14, the schools included in the data are listed there. And then our current list of schools, I believe, is up on our website. But if not, I'm happy to send it to you. But we've got 27 this year.
Great. Will more be joining?
Every year, we do a recruitment process, and with our schools that have been with us for more than a year, it's always stay with us if you want to, if it's working with you. We have some schools that have been with us 5 years because every year it's worth it for them, and others that pursue other initiatives. So yes, we will open it up, but it is always opt-in. We have never told a school you have to do this, and I think that's part of where the success comes from, is a school needs to be ready to actually let teachers have a voice in how they run things.
Thank you very much.
Thank
That-
you.
That was very informative, and I learned a lot. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
We will now ask for the committee members to approve adding EP 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 to the consent agenda. Is there a motion to place these 6 action items on the consent agenda?
So move.
Board Member Kriminger made a motion to approve the consent agenda. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Board Member Cordray seconded the motion. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. Is there any other business to come before the committee? Hearing none, we will adjourn. Thank you very much.